Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome to the World of Wonders GBL. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. So a new season is upon us, and we're beginning things off with the Open Great League as well as the Electric Cup. So I'm going to talk to you about the Open Great League. We have some Pokemon that are going to be really good that got updates this season, so it's going to be really exciting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking about it. So, yeah, without further ado, we'll just go ahead and dive right into things and see what we got going on for us. For the S rank, this is going to be a lot of familiar faces. Cresselia, Registeel, Lickitung, Gligar. These Pokemon you're really not going to get rid of. It would be very difficult to get rid of them. I mean, what are you going to do? Nerf Lick? I mean, maybe. These Pokemon have been around from the beginning. Not the Gligar. The Gligar did receive the buff a few seasons ago, but they're all good. Of course, Cresselia is really tanky. So is Registeel. Registeel, even against things that counter it, can take a shield at the bare minimum. You all know that, right? Lickitung is just so bulky as well. All those Pokemon are bulky. Gligar is so good, so strong. But the new one we have, Feraligatr. So Feraligatr, I don't think anybody saw that coming, right? It got Shadow Claw this season. And the Shadow, I would recommend the Shadow if you have it. I happen to have two. They were decent ranked. They weren't like the best. They're not ranked 1, 2, 3, but they're decent. So I'm happy I already built my one for the Great League, and I'm going to build one for the Ultra League as well. But Shadow Claw, getting to those Hydro Cannons really, really fast. Going to be doing a lot of damage, and the Ice Beam, pretty decent coverage. You kind of get walled by water types, but I mean, it seems like a really strong Pokemon, so I'm excited to try it out. Skarmory, of course, has that Steel Wing. Nothing changed with that. Still a really strong Pokemon. Yep, really strong indeed. Same with Lantern, Wishcash. You know the drill, right? I mean, do I go over these again? I mean, I guess I do. Lantern, of course. There's a lot of water types, right? I mean, like the Feraligatr I just talked about. They keep on adding more. Empoleon got buffed as well, so they keep on adding more. So Lantern, there's no reason why Lantern is going to fall out of the meta anytime soon. It's a bulky water electric type. It does really, really well. And of course, Wishcash, we all know. We all love Wishcash. Scald did not get nerfed this season, unfortunately. I was hoping for a Scald nerf. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So we're going to have to deal with Wishcash at least for another season. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Annihilate is still really strong, obviously, right? I mean, it came out last season halfway through. Still a really strong Pokemon for this meta for sure. Moving on to the A rank, we do have Swampert. I think the Wishcash is better, even for Alligator. I think might do a little bit better. I mean, that Shadow Claw damage is no joke from a Shadow for Alligator. But still, Swampert is really good. It still gets to the Hydro Cannon super, super fast. Really strong Pokemon. Carbink, of course, is a really good Pokemon as well. Mantine did get a buff to Water Pulse. So Water Pulse actually going to be doing more damage, and you're going to get to it a little bit faster. PvPoke still recommends Ice Beam. I'm going to be trying out Mantine with Water Pulse, but keep that in mind. On the site, Ice Beam is still recommended at the moment. And then we have Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz, of course, is really thick, really strong. Bastiodon, everyone's favorite Pokemon, similar to Carbink. It's different, but it has that bulk to it. Of course, Bastiodon does a good job of walling Pokemon, but it also does a good job of getting walled. So keep that in mind. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, if you will. Quagsire, Wishcash is definitely better than Quagsire, but Quagsire still has some good play. Azumel is a great Pokemon, always has been. I mean, it got that bubble buff last season, still really strong. Charjabug, ever since it had the community day to get Volt Switch, really powerful stuff. We see it quite a bit. I mean, you see Charjabug a lot, don't you? I know you do. The B rank, we have some dragons. We have Guzzlord starting things off. I think Guzzlord is a great Pokemon. I love Guzzlord. Yeah, I mean, all in all, I've used Guzzlord in the Ultra League a lot. It's really good in the Great League as well. And then we have Galarian Stunfisk, kind of nerfed, right, with the Earthquake a season or two ago, but still a strong Pokemon as well. Empoleon with that Steel Wing, so it did get that Steel Wing this season, which is going to help it out. I think it's going to be pretty good. I mean, Empoleon was still decent. Depends, like specific metas it was good, but now with Steel Wing, I mean, as long as the opposing Pokemon is not resisting Steel Wing, I mean, it's a pretty good move. It's a really good move. Glade got Psycho Cut this season, so another new addition, and it gets to Leaf Blade in 4 Psycho Cuts. That's crazy. Mewtwo takes 5 Psycho Cuts to get the Psych Strike, 4 to get the Leaf Blade, 5 to get the Close Combat. It's really fast. It really is. It's not that long animation like Confusion is. It's really, really fast. Doesn't do a lot of damage. Psycho Cut doesn't do a lot, but it's still really good Pokemon. Gudra. Gudra is another one that got buffed because it got Aqua Tail, and Aqua Tail did get buffed this season. So it's doing more damage, and it's better than what it had. It's better than Muddy Water, right? So you can go with Dragon Breath, Aqua Tail, Power Whip, and I think Gudra is really good. I actually have to check my Gudra, and I have to build one because I want to try it. Poliwrath, of course, Poliwrath. Scald wasn't nerfed, so Poliwrath is still going to be good. I guess it fell down a little bit thanks to Annihilate, but still, I mean, Poliwrath is still a really good Pokemon. Dragonair. Dragonair has been good last season. It was used a lot the past few seasons, but Aqua Tail was buffed, so it's even better now. So keep that in mind. Like, usually, like, you get to Body Summon Aqua Tail at the same time. They do the same damage. If they're both neutral, generally it doesn't really matter which one you go for. But you want to go for Aqua Tail now if both are neutral because Aqua Tail is doing more damage, right? So the only way you go for Body Slam is if Aqua Tail is resisted but Body Slam is not. So yeah, Dragonair is a really strong Pokemon. Moving on to the other options, Vigoroth. Vigoroth, of course. So Brick Break, it's interesting because Brick Break does take a little bit longer to take to. It's 1 extra counter to get to, but it does debuff your opponent. So I think it's 1 extra counter. I know it's a little bit longer to get to, but it does debuff, guaranteed to debuff your opponent's defense. So think Poison Fang, right? So do you want to run that over Rock Slide? I feel like you still want to run Rock Slide, but I don't know. Brick Break, I would say it got better. It got better. I don't know if people are going to run it, but still a pretty interesting pick nonetheless. And then we have Pelipper. Mantine, every single move Mantine has been buffed at one point. Not every move, but like Wing Attack, Water Pulse, Aerial Ace, they all were buffed. I think Mantine has the bulk to it. I think Mantine is better than Pelipper now. I used to love Pelipper, but I still do, but I think Mantine is the better way to go. Skeledirge, of course, with that Incinerate, but there's so many water types. I feel like it's hard to run. I didn't even put Talonflame on this list. Talonflame's still good, and so is Skeledirge, and Talonflame could go in the other options for sure. They're still good Pokemon, but water, it seems like water Pokemon get buffed time and time again, each season. And then we have Clodsire. Clodsire, of course, is really good, and it's really bulky as well. We've seen this. Is Wily's another dragon? Oh, we have better dragon options. We'll probably see some Gudra action, some Dragonair action, Guzzlord over Zweilous. But Zweilous is another option. Abomasnow with that Icy Wind, got it last season. So, not a bad Pokemon. If you're looking for a Charm user, Wigglytuff, Charm plus Icy Wind is a good way to go. Toxapac's really bulky. Venusaur, if you're looking for a good grass type. Venusaur or Trevenant. I didn't put Trevenant on the list, but I guess one of those probably going to be the best. Gliscor. Gligar is definitely better than Gliscor, but Gliscor is another option. Giratina Origin, if you happen to get it, believe it or not, is in the Great League. You have to trade for it out of that research that we got. If your opponent has one, then you have to trade for it and hope it rolls below 1500. I got mine in the second one, so pretty cool. And then Defense Deoxys. So that's going to be the Open Great League for you. Let's go ahead and move on over to the solid team options. So for the first team, I do have Guzzlord, Double Water. So you could go with Gudra or Dragonair. You can go with another Dragon type. The backline is going to really be weak to Lantern, right? Because all the moves are resisted. So you kind of want something in the lead that is going to essentially resist all of Lantern's moves. So like a Dragon type. That's why I put a Dragon type. As I said, you could run another Dragon if you choose to. But Guzzlord, I put out. This is the team I'm going to be trying out first. Guzzlord, Feraligatr, Mantine. Now, I did mention earlier that PvPoke does recommend Ice Beam currently still on Mantine on the website. I have Water Pulse on mine just because I want to try it out. But Ice Beam could be the way to go. But looks like a pretty strong team. If you don't want to go Mantine, you could go with a Lantern of your own instead of Mantine. I think that could work. Next up is another team that did well for me last season, the Timeless Travel season. Skarmory in the lead with Wishcash and Gligar. It did well for me. I had multiple 4-1s with this team, so you can give it a try. I see no reason why it still wouldn't do good. I think it would still do good this season. Next up, we have Cresselia in the lead, super bulky with Annihilate and Reggie Steel. So, Reggie Steel, okay. Reggie Steel, obviously a very strong Pokemon, very bulky Pokemon. And yeah, I mean, this is a great team, I think. I think Reggie Steel is a great safe swap because even if they have a response like a fighting type, Zap Cannon can still threaten, right? So, Focus Blast can still threaten regardless of the response. Or at least do a lot of damage. So I think it is good at luring out different Pokemon. Next up, we do have Feraligatr in the lead with Lickitung as a great save swap. And then we do have the Charjabug as well. Charjabug is going to do well against all the water types we have going on for us. That's why Team 1, I think Dragon-type Dragon is resisting all of the electric attacks, right? It doesn't resist X-Scissor. Guzzlord does not resist X-Scissor. Or dragons don't in general. Guzzlord's actually weak to it. So do want to keep that in mind, but you could also take one. That's why you might want to go with like another dragon like Goodra with the Team 1. But anyway, that is Team 4. Team 5 going to be Dragonette in the lead with Whiscash and Skarmory. Makes a great core. I've used this team as well. You could put Skarm in the lead over Dragonette. I like the Shadow Dragonette. And when I say Dragonette, you want to go with the Shadow one in my opinion. And then the final team is going to be Double Dragon, Lantern Double Dragon. So a friend of mine, Brad Singer, hit Legend with last season with Double Dragon. Obviously, it wasn't Goodra. It was, I think it was Dragonite actually. I know it was Lantern, Dragonite. I think it was Dragonite or Altaria, but I want to say Dragonite. But I think Goodra is probably a good way to go now because of the buff. It got Aqua Tail, and Aqua Tail got buffed. I think Goodra can put in a lot of work, but another Dragon could work as well. But either way, this is going to be the Open Great League. Let me know what you think. Let me know what team you plan on trying, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.